Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, July 27th, 2026. New day, fresh start, right at the opening bell. Welcome to the morning game plan. I'm Manny. Every morning we come in with the same goal: build out structure before the open. So identify the important levels and understand what the market is trying to do before money gets involved. We trade live, we break down the market in real time, and we focus on decisions that lead to consistent profitability. No guessing, no chasing, no forcing trades, all right? All our trades are designed to follow a logic plan so that we can repeat what works. Structure first, execution second. All right, guys, a bit of a late start this morning. Apologies for that. We had some technical difficulties, and I had a long road trip last night, but I'm here and let's get into it. We have this big opening gap higher, and I'm not sure if this was news driven or what exactly transpired, because as I mentioned earlier, I was been a little bit out of the loop as I was on a road trip. But here's what I want to show you is if we focus in on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, I'm going to put the 24-hour extended hour session on the ES, and that's what I'm showing here on the left-hand chart.
First pullback, take trade.
Okay, let me just get back to here a little bit. All right. Okay. Bet. If we look at the higher time frame on the ES, we can see that we really haven't gone anywhere. We're still in this balance. I have this quad measurement tool here that's measuring the balance area that we've been on essentially pretty much since, back in April. Okay, so the market is just balancing at highs, and the idea here is that the market is just looking for a directional move. Whether that's going to be up or down remains to be seen. However, while we are in this larger balance, I think that balance rules come into play here. We want to be a little bit more judicious with our directional bias. And more importantly, we just want to go with the market and see what it offers. I'm thinking personally for my own trading, I'm taking short scalps. I'm taking quick exits on my first couple of contracts, and then I am exiting really because we just really don't have a directional bias here. All right, so let's see. Let me see. Try to get the room up. Okay, gotcha. All right, so I just want to do a quick sound check. And if you guys can hear me, so I just want to do a quick sound check. So if you guys can hear me, do me a favor, just type a comment in so I know that I can confirm that my audio is functioning. Good. Thanks, Rockin' Rufus. Appreciate it. All right, guys. All right, so here we go, right? So as I mentioned earlier, we're in this larger balance, right? We have the market is just balancing here at on the higher time frame. We have coming into this morning session, we have what? We have the opening gap, right? So last night the market gapped up. Let me just remove these drawing tools because they are not correct. Okay. So we have this big gap up. Go to a 15-minute time frame. Now, the way I'm looking at this open is, are these buyers correct in their gap opening, right? So coming into this morning, we have what? We have overnight inventory that's 100% net long. It's all long, right? Because we have this big gap. Now, these buyers are under pressure once we break below the overnight low, which is down at the low is 74.86. Okay, So let's just keep an eye on that. You can see here we're already retracing a little bit of that liquidation break we saw off the open, and to have a liquidation break off the open on a gap up is normal. The question is, does that liquidation break turn into an invalidation of those buyers who bought the market on Sunday night, or are they validated and we continue to put in a higher low? We can see here that thus far, that is what we've seen, right? So we came in, we have the big gap here, and then we've put in higher lows. So we came in, that was our first 15-minute low, higher low, higher low. Those guys just got liquidated, and here we go, breaking out back to the upside. All right, so let's just see what happens here. Overnight high coming into today's session is $75.24. Okay, great. Thanks, Delphine. I'm sorry that I'm a bit off this morning. As I just mentioned earlier, I literally just arrived back at my office from a road trip with my family, and we were in Tennessee, and we had to drive back home, and it was about 13 hours. So, yeah, I'm feeling great. How are you guys doing this weekend? How are you guys doing this morning? 75.24. Let's see, 75.24, 75. Kind of flying blind here as I can't see. I'm trying to get a good read on the comments and to just trying to identify where I can read the comments the quickest. Okay, so just bear with me here, guys. And remember, if I look a little rough today, it's because I just got home from that 13-hour drive. I got home about 2 hours ago, so we drove straight through the night. So bear with me this morning. But one thing I wasn't going to miss is being here with you guys. I mean, this is pretty much a highlight of my trading day. I love coming on with you folks. I love sharing the trading ideas. I love how we build out the plan and navigate the day together. Always fun. Let me just get this chart configured here properly. 24. Did any of you trade the Sunday night? Let me know. Let me know if you trade on Sunday night. I'm always interested in knowing how many traders actually participate on the Sunday Open. I think that's. I don't know how many people actually are active on a Sunday night. I know me personally, there are times where I will trade it, other times that I won't, just depending on what the market is doing and also what I was doing with my weekend. All right, I'm going to get down to brass tacks here, guys. Let's take a look here. All right. Okay, let me make sure I have these. Oh, we got a short trade from the resistance point. Yeah, Bravo Alpha. Yeah, exactly. Just what I need after a long night. Yeah, it's funny because over the weekend I was I think it was yesterday. The days are kind of blending together, but yesterday I was chatting with someone, a trader friend that I haven't chatted with in quite a long time, and he told me that that his father passed away, and he was wrecked about it, and we were kind of talking markets. It started off initially about thoughts on the market and so on, and so he told me that his dad passed away, and he was asking me if he thought he should trade, and I told him the first thing I said to him was like, hey, obviously I'm sorry for your loss, but more importantly I said, you don't really need to be to deal with the market right now. You've got a lot on your plate. You should just take some time off and process that so that you're in a better place. And so thinking about that now after a 13-hour drive and coming in and trading the open, yeah, it's gonna be good. Hey. Whenever we see a gap like this, right, just fresh off the open, the first thing that jumps out at us at the opening is should I buy it, and can these prices hold? Right, that's the obvious question, because obviously the market participants voted already, and the winner is clear. Right, bulls are in control here. Will prices sustain higher? So that's the first thing we want to key in on, is knowing if those buyers will sustain higher, and we'll see. I think we'll see some sort of a liquidation break. Let me just get this out of the way here. Okay. Yeah, so I'm in an ATA short here from 75.07. It triggered as I was speaking. More importantly, if you miss the overnight move, don't feel like you have to jump right in. I think that we certainly will be better served if we wait for more information, or if you have a specific strategy that you want to execute, then that's great, right? Pre-planned trades are always the way we want to go. As you know, I'm a big advocate of those. And something like an ATA strategy, like me using the Polaris Trading Group, the PTG, I'm sure all of you guys are aware of David. He comes on here a couple times a week and shares his stuff, and I really have a lot of respect for David and his work. Obviously, I use some of his strategies as well. He and I kind of see eye to eye on a lot of on our approach to trading the market. So yeah, and also remember that the first 30 minutes of the day is where we set the opening range, and we want to know, we want to trade value, right? We want to be in the direction of value. So value is obviously overnight is developing higher. Big liquidation break here. And what I'm interested in seeing is, can we break the overnight low? And if we do, what happens then? And I'm not interested in predicting whether the gap fills or the gap holds. What I'm interested is watching what buyers do now while we're testing lower, and are they going to be liquidated, or will bulls step up, buy the dip, and validate the overnight move from Sunday night? You know, these big gaps on over the weekend, these big Sunday night gaps are very emotional opens, right? So market participants have had some time to digest the news. They're waking up early. They see this move, and everyone is going to, you know, if you're a trader, by default, you're going to have some type of an opinion about it. All right. So let's just see early on here where that opening range settles. Do we do a look below and fail of the overnight low? That would be a great trade that I'm interested in, right? So say that we come down here as we are right now. Let me just get my little tool here and set up this chart. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take the 10 points on this trade and start the week off with a green trade. Probably get a tag of the overnight low, but let's see. Watching the order flow here closely. One eye on that. Yep, look at that. They just rejected again. We went up to where? 99s. Gonna go ahead and tighten this up now. I'm not interested in if we come back up. If it comes back up over 99, I want out. But other than that, then I'm looking for a look below the overnight low, down to maybe 82. Let me just get my 87 would possibly be some support. Below that, it's 67. So we have some room to travel. All right, getting some extension here lower. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like we came down to 74.90 and bounced just off that Fibonacci. Okay, so we didn't quite satisfy the level. But let's watch the overnight low here very carefully. Overnight low is coming in at 74.86. You know, the way that this low formed, and what I'm seeing here just over this off of the momentum oscillator, it's kind of hinting to me that this move might be getting a little bit extended here as we come into the approach of the overnight low. I think once you get this close, everybody's expecting a touch of it, and it's, you know, that's expectations are where we get hurt. So I wanted a push lower, but we didn't get it. Looks like we went below the prior 5-minute bar, and now we're reversing higher. Let's take a look at the internals. Internals are really bullish here, although the VIX is really not validating the move. It is gapped lower, and it seems like it's coming back up in to fill that gap now. Let me just make sure that's, yeah. And so another thing that I'm keying in on are the ticks, right? So our ticks, let me just make sure. See here. I just don't think that this. So we started off in high ticks, like nearly 1,000 ticks, and since then it's just been a move lower. Again, liquidation break off of the gap up open is not something that we could be too surprised by. We have a low volume node just there at 7,500, 7,550, and it looks like, you know, low volume nodes, they are, how can I say, they carry more weight later in the day. I fully expect low volume nodes this early in the auction to be filled. We just don't have enough information yet. I think that we can discount low volume nodes early in the session. Where's that low volume notice? My stop might be a little bit too tight here. Yeah, I mean, statistically, I always want to start Monday with a green trade, because for me, statistically, if I have a red Monday, statistically, I I mean, this is the reality of it, right? So statistically, over in 2025, if I had a red Monday, I only stood a 42 or 47% chance of a green week. If my Monday's loss was over a certain dollar amount. So what does that tell me? Well, that tells me that if I have a red Monday and I keep it low enough that I still have a good chance of formulating a green week. Okay, so we just came up, we just tested that 5-minute bar, that 5-minute high was 74.99.75, and we came up, we went 7,500 quarter, 2 ticks shy of that low volume node, and then rolled over again. So hey guys, here's another nuance of low volume nodes, right? So we're looking here at this low volume node at 7,500. This is the one that I pointed out. Okay, this one right here. All right, I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me know if you can't. I'm happy to point that out a different way, but I'm looking at this low volume node. So one nuance that I've noticed over the years, again, I've been trading the ES for, profitably for 13 years. I've been watching ES for over 15 years. Okay, so one thing about these low volume nodes that I've noticed over time, is that they could fill early. I discount them closer early in the auction. But more importantly is, if price is coming up to, say we have a low volume node 75.01 as we do right now, and price, if that low volume node is going to hold, it usually it will not test close. It'll come close to, say, within a point or so, and then it'll just move away. Whereas if the low volume node, like it is here, 75.0150, and price faded from 7,500. So if it comes and it starts testing even closer, I think that you can just close the trade and exit, but it should not test into, once it ticks the low volume node. I mean, it's pretty much, in my experience, what I've noticed is that it's going to fill. All right. Okay. What we could do also here is that we could start formulating a balance. Right? Let's not discount that. Obviously, so our overnight low is 74.86. Okay. Are there any signs of is there anything telling me here that, hey, this gap might fill? Well, yeah, well, look at this, right? We have our weighted AD, which is negative. And one thing we know about ticks, I'm not sure how many of you guys watch the tick. I do. I think it's still a valuable tool. And what I want to show you about the tick is this. Here's another nuance. Let me just make sure that I have my, I'm going to move this down to 81. Oh, no. 77. I will probably execute the exit. I will probably manually, dynamically exit this trade. But let's get back to this lesson here. I think it's important. I think it's a good nuance for tick watchers. Okay, so here's today's session, right? So today's tick started right here. This is today's session. This was Friday. Anything before that was Friday. Okay. So look, we started off with a high tick of over 800. Let's see, what was the precise high tick? Let's see. Okay, the high was 937. Since then, we've just been putting in lower, lower, lower. So remember, the tick is telling us what? It's giving us the net buys and net sells at the New York Stock Exchange. So thus far, coming into today's open, what have we seen? What have we seen coming from the information coming from the NYSE is that, hey, somebody's using this gap to either take profit or they're shorting it, because all we've seen is nothing but net selling since the market is open. There are quite a bit of nuances to the tick. I mean, I'm less concerned with the spikes and using those as I am with how much time it spends above and below the zero line. I think those are good indicators, good markers. All right, looks like we're getting that follow through down to the downside. Of course, right now is the time that I'm telling myself, gosh, Manny, why aren't you in the larger side? Yeah, that's always going to be one of the internal debates. But moving down lower here, guys, So my plan on this is to hold it up until I get either the target or I get a pivot into my execution clock time frame. Okay, as a lot of you know, if you've been following me for a while, you know I have a time. We use a time study. It comes on the market blueprint, and that time study gives us an idea for when the intraday pivots will come. Nice move, nice follow through here lower. Very nice, very nice, very nice. Let me know if any of you are in this short. Nice follow through here. Getting a bit of a retracement here, guys, and I'm going to go ahead and take the 30 points on this trade. I think that let's just see here. I'm looking at the order flow, and it looks like I'd rather take this off and book the profit. Let me just watch it here very, very closely. I am close to time, and if we're looking at it, this is we're getting into Friday's value area high here. Okay, so Friday's value area high is coming in at 74, about 74.67, 68. Let me just double check that to be sure. Switch this out to RTH. If I get the target at 74.67, it will be a net gain of 40 points. Yep. Okay. So guys, plus, let's see if I can exit here. Taking this off for plus a 30-point gain. Happy to take it off here. It is time to exit. Here we go. What is our high here? 77.75. Gosh, my throat's so dry. Gonna go ahead and lock in the 30 points. 79, so 28 points, just above that little 5-minute high there. Let it prove it. Here we go. Oh yeah, look, nope. All right, out plus 28.50 on the trade. I'm out. Net gain of 28 points on that one. So happy to start off the Monday with a nice trade. Of course, now it moves lower. You can't time this stuff, man. You can't. Brutal. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. Nonetheless, it was a nice trade to start the day with. Oh man. This is looking, hey, so if we're heads up, because every little dip here, every little rally here is getting sold into, and that can be a tell here for how this day might go, guys. All right. This rally is being sold into. Look at the ticks. I mean, the ticks are not giving us anything. Straight down. And look, when I first pointed out, I lost connection. When I first pointed out the internals were up. Were over 3.5 to 1 positive on the NYSE. Over to 1 positive on the NASDAQ. And now the NYSE is only up 2.8 to 1, NASDAQ 1.7 to 1. Okay, and then we can see that, we clearly see that read in the tick, right? The tick is telling us that story. We just looked at that. It just briefly went below 0 and then came right back up. So yeah. Let's watch it here carefully. It's starting to dig in though, because we came down, we made the low 74.69.75, and now we're just balancing at the low. Maybe we need to work some of this off and go back and trade higher a bit before we actually break lower. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna follow it here, follow along. Set up. Don't chase this move though, guys. Wait for a retracement. Wait for a retracement. All right, it will come. It will happen. Markets will not move in a straight line all day. All right, just be patient and you'll get a good one. You can see here we're balancing, right? So what it looks to be is that we're going to form a little balance down here before we actually have another directional move. You know, oftentimes, you know, after a big candle print, it's going to invoke some type of emotion or thought. That's where chasing comes, and it's oftentimes it is the worst moment to trade, right? Because it's the move is being digested. The market doesn't really clearly know what to do with the influx of volume, and it's going to whip back and forth within 5-7 point range, and it's just going to be listless. It's going to be a boat, a ship without a rudder. Yep, you can see here we're just bouncing back and forth, right? So try not to chase this lower. This is where we can easily get chopped up, and you can lose and it's, I know because it's happened to me. I can remember when there were a time where the market would be in a a 10-point range, and I happened to get destroyed in it, and I'd lose more than 10 points in a 10-point range, just getting chopped up back and forth. That's not what we want to do. We want to let everybody else's money vote. We want their money to prove it, and then we want to come in after, and we want to pick up the crumbs. We want to pick up the easy trades, the easy moves. Or at best, we're trying to trade with the traps, right? So if everyone is thinking directionally short, maybe that's the time to take a long. But more often than not, it's just a time to do nothing. Here we go. The volume is, you see, the market cannot gain any traction to the upside, guys. Look at the tick coming down below zero again. Yeah, I mean, look, it's. I mean, this is not a good move. We can't even get up to retest overnight low. You know, I was expecting it to, you know, that was going to be what I was going to discuss next is, all right, so where's a good place to get into this, right? And that would be at the overnight low, a retest. We can't even get up there, guys. This is a lot more bearish than what under the hood is showing us, all right? So hang tight, stay patient. When we have moves like this on an S4 day, cycle day one, we typically are going to get good moves. We just have to be patient. Look at this, it broke. Yowzers. All right. Here we go. Breaking lower, guys. Breaking lower, team. Here we go. I don't know. These internals are kind of bearish. Are we going to fill the gap? We're below the overnight low. Liquidation break. Let's take a look at the higher time frame and see where things change. I'm at a disadvantage today because I didn't have the opportunity to do my my normal routine prep work this morning. So forgive me for that. What I want to look at is this. Okay. So we had Friday. Oh, look at where we just tested to. We're testing the higher portion of Friday's balance area high. So look at this, heads up, right? So we came in on Friday. Let's take a look at this on a 15-minute chart. I think this is where things change for us, guys. So here was our 74.75 support. Okay. Just going to loosely outline that. Well, here, let me do it like this. This was our 74.75 area of support. Here. All right, so Friday we broke. I mean, this is just the same way I would do it when I'm preparing, just an abbreviated version of it, but we broke. Friday broke lower. Well, the break was actually in the overnight session, right? Hang on. So Friday, yeah, so we gapped down on Friday. Gap down, moved lower, and then we formed this. Let me just follow this here quickly. Yeah, okay, so we had the opening gap down, we retraced it, it couldn't breach the prior day high, and then we started to move lower. Retracement held, rejected at this balance area low, they sold it, we moved lower, and from there it was just, you know, technical move. So then we had the market opened on Friday morning. Immediately we saw a retracement. Hang tight. Okay. So then Friday, we had the open. That saw a big 15-minute print, and the high of the day was put in the first 15 minutes. So these guys sold and they were right. They sold the open and they were right. Okay. So we had the big move down, overnight inventory correction, and then the move was lower. So then following that, the next move was, it was a balance at the low. We had to look below and fail somewhere down here, I'm pretty sure. No, sorry, this is Thursday. So this is Friday. Sorry, so Thursday we had the break. Then on Friday, we had to look below the overnight low. We rallied, but then that rally faded. I remember I spoke about this in the market blueprint. I said, this is the type of environment that, rallies fade. And that's what happened. So then we came back down, we tested the low, and we closed at the low. So then these traders here on Friday's close went home short in the hole. They call that. We're going to call that going home short in the hole. Whoever was here was short. On Sunday's open was wrong, and it was swiftly proved on this open, right? But since then, structurally, the market could not even make a new high above Thursday, above Wednesday's high, which was the pivot high, and that was up at 75.63. So if we're looking at this as this is a lower high, which is what I was framing, as part of my work, lower high, that is still intact. Now, in order to have that move validated, we need to get into this distribution. Now let's go see what the point of control, or where the majority of the volume was traded in that area. That's what I want to know next. And for that, I'm going to look at my profile chart. Yeah, I think we can get down. So we left a naked point of control down at 74.42 and one as well as 74.29. 74.42 is right in here, okay? $74.42 is right here, and then we have one at 74.29, just below this distribution. So if we work below, just let me clear this out now and maximize this. Wait, I can probably see it better on the 15-minute. So where are we bouncing? We're bouncing at 74.60. We're dead in the middle of this distribution. Let's watch 74.51 for support, because then that would give us a higher low relative to Thursday, Friday, and then that would just tell us that we're back in balance. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Market after, and back to these big prints, you can see here, the markets need to digest markets need to digest. After a large 5 or 15-minute candle, the market often pauses, it rotates, pulls back. That's just the auction catching its breath after an aggressive move. Scalp short here, 75.64 on the rollover. 75.64. Very, very small. Oh, look at that. 75.60. I'm out of this one. 75.60. Hang on. Yeah. Look at what it did. Oh, wait. No, I'm not sorry. What time is it? I'm late. I'm early on this. So we could have we have 74.70 as resistance. Combo. 74.61 support, coming back down into it. I want to see some follow through right now. If not, I'm out. Got to see some follow through on this. If not, I'm out. Okay, here we go. In that follow through here. Getting some of that follow through. We're getting that grinding lower action, guys. Internals keep coming off, as well as, well, now our ticks have stabilized somewhat. NASDAQ is moving lower. It's testing last week's low. Our prior day low. Yeah, NASDAQ is already testing its prior day's low. All right, +6. Oh, did I get it? Did I get it? All right, got it. Got the first one, +6 points on the first. Looking for a 10-point fill on the second, a 75.52, which is our balance area high. $62.52. I'm looking lower, guys. I'm looking for 62.52. I'm looking for 47 for 15-point gain. This market's moving pretty quickly here. I'm gonna try to stay in this as long as I can. As you guys know, I'm more of a position day trader. I like to get into a position and hold it for as long as I can. We are coming into a time frame that I said 52 was the balance area high on the higher time frame, right? So let's just go back and look at that. Yeah, this is the balance area high. So we just got a fair value gap fill from Friday's high, from that balance area high, 74.51. We came down, we tested 74.52. And I'm just going to go ahead and peel this off. I'm going to go ahead and take the 6-7 points. I can always reload later. I want to be cautious though. I don't like to just close it. What I want to do is let the market take me out. So where does it make sense to put this stop? Gosh, I guess over this current 5-minute high. That's pretty nonsensical, but here we go. We have our naked volume point of control down at 74.42. We have another one at 74.29. All right. I think that fills today. Let's target that. Let's target 42. That would be another 20-point gain. That would be a nice start to the week for sure. I gotta admit, I missed the pit. I missed the chat. I missed the not seeing very many comments posted in here, but we're having some technical difficulties with the pit chat. So hey, if you want to, really, you'd get a lot more out of what we have to offer at Pitbull Traders if you joined Trade Chat. Link is in the description. So yeah, check that out. Bunch of traders in there, all with different methodologies and different approaches. And if one doesn't fit you, I'm sure you'll find one that does. So just trying to stay here with the momentum of what the market is telling us, which is that prices are moving lower. We now have a gap fill. We were able to identify that off the open, right? We had the lower highs, and now we have this straight directional move lower. So I'm expecting, okay, we just had SPX fill the gap. And, you know, this is being confirmed also. I mean, money is, the money is confirming it also. I mean, we have more money going into down stocks. Liquidation there, liquidation there. Let's see what oil's doing. Yeah.
Target filled.
Got it. Got the target, guys. Got the target on that one. Hey, heads up, 47. Nice. So that's 20. I got 47. Oh no, 40. Let me see. What was the execution on that? What the precise execution was.
Target filled.
Got it. Okay. Yes, Delphine. No problem. Happy to help. Hey, you know, so Delphine, the way that came about, at least for me, is that, you know, you're at the trade is most at risk at the beginning of the trade, right? So I always want to try to, like, you know, I was always looking for how to limit my, or how to limit my risk, right? And in that quest, I was so tired of seeing like a position that I would have taken earlier in the day and turn around in the afternoon and see that the position worked, right? So with seeing that enough time, I would think, wow, if I just held that one trade would have been the only trade I needed on that day. And so around that time was when I started to become more of a position trader. All right, 1031. I'm gonna be careful with shorts around here. We are in the prime time of when the market likes to make a directional pivot here. Does seem to be wanting to work a little bit lower. We'll see. Really gonna have to this move is now from the open. This move is what geez, it's like 78 points of range thus far. That's pretty extensive. Just be cautious. This thing's about to go into balance and start chopping people up. This is what it loves to do right now about this time of the day. Yeah, look, they just keep selling it. There's just massive selling here, guys. Yep, just massive selling. I'm just regretting getting rid of that first trade, guys. I'm really regretting that one. Would have been a great start to the move. It's no secret that, I've been looking for lower prices. but there's no reason to buy this. Don't try to attempt a any type of scalp long just because you're not in the short. Just be patient. Just be patient. It'll come. If any directional trade you're going to take, at least for me, it would be a scalp short, right? I think the scalp shorts could come easier than anything else. Again, this is where having a trade plan, I feel like I'm a little bit off today because I did not have the time to go through my normal Sunday work. Sunday night is a night that I get to really put some work in and analyze the charts, analyze other markets, and look for correlations, look for any clues that might give us an advantage or an edge going into the week. All right, so we just came in, tested that 74.29 support. We also filled that naked point of control, so that is now off. You can cross that off your list. And we are looking now below Friday's low. Okay, so Friday's low. Friday's RTH low is coming in at 74.28.75. We have now made a low down to 74. Wait, is that it? Yep. No, sorry, that's today's low. Friday's low was 74.31. Now that's probably, you can hunt for a look below here. If we get some acceptance. Yeah, of course, then it goes bless off. See if we can get a 5-minute close back above, and if we can get that look below and fail of Friday's low at 74.31.50, be a good tactical trade here. I grabbed some at 38. I got one at 38. Tight, small risk, 3-point risk on it. It needs to get above. It needs to get above. Let's see. Well, nope, there it comes right back down. 41. Yep, and I'm out. Now, the reason for that trade, although I just said that we would consider scalp shorts, and now I'm pivoting, is because of, on my work, many of you know, I have the execution. I use the execution clock, and that's formulated around this trade would be formulated. Yeah, I just got taken out. So -3 on that one. I just kept it to one contract, which is good. Limited the risk there. It was worth a shot. Yeah, aggressively, they come right back down on them. Yep, look at that. They just broke them again. Whew. Thank God I got out of that one. 3 points is nothing compared to what, like, trying to hold it on. All right, so we failed to reclaim yesterday's low on the first attempt. That's a big tell. I'm going to take it. I'm pretty much done here for the morning session. I got 30 on the first, 20 on the second, -3 on the third. And I am okay with letting this play out now. We're going into, it's 10:42. We'll probably start chopping around a little bit more now. Although, let's see what happens here now if they want to reclaim the Friday's low. It's just demonstrating no ability to gain any absorption. Sellers are just super dominant right now. You can get really frustrated trying to buy this on a day like today. Every attempt to try to rally it higher is just being met by sellers. I want to see some acceptance, see if they can accept above yesterday's low, but I'm sorry, Friday's low, but they can't get it above. Yeah, if you're short, stay short. If you're short, stay short. Manage your position. 74.31.75 on the Friday low reclaim. 31.75, looking for 41.75 on the first. Let's see if you can get these to stick. Yep, thanks, Bravo. Appreciate it. Yep. I got some 31.75s here. Let's see. 31.75. Looking for 41.75. Looking for 41.75, then 46.75, although I think I'm a little bit this is a look below and fail reclaim of Friday's low. Got it, guys. Plus 10 points. Got the 10 points on that one. Yep. Got it. Yes. Oh, yeah. Super happy about that. I get 51.75 on the second. Wait, what is this one? This is the ad. So this is what? 31, 32.50, 42, 47.50 on the second for 15 points. 47.50 offered. Let's go. Come on, get up there. Came off that, hit that low volume node and ran into trouble. I'm trying to stay cool here. But the ranges are just so wide. I mean, look at this. We just went 41s, 44s to 39s. Like, you're giving up 5 points in a heartbeat. You're giving up 5 points easy here. I'm trying to stay cool. Let me just move. At least I'm going to protect some of this. It's been a great start to the morning. I don't want to risk that. Yeah, so looking for 47.50 on the second. Let's see if we can get it, and then I want to try to protect that runner. I want to see how far we can go. Again, being mindful of the higher time frame. We are in a higher time frame balance. This is my biggest position today. That doesn't make I'm just gonna call myself out right now. This doesn't make sense though. Like I should have been my bigger position should have been earlier. Should have been the short. This doesn't make sense. But so typically my style of trading is on early Monday morning, especially on stream. And in the month of July, I just haven't been trading very. I don't think for the last month in July I've taken a trade over 4 contracts, right? And that's when the markets are good, I'm typically between 4 and 6 and maybe even 8 if I've had a good day in the afternoon and I'm looking to pad that account and I got a good read, I'll go up to 8. But for the summer, I told myself one of the adjustments I wanted to make this year was to keep my size very small during July, because historically July is my worst month. And so I've been trading 1s and 2s and maybe up to 4, but really just trying to stay low and just keep it fresh and keep it light. So again, this is a 3 contract trade. It's, those of you who know me, traded alongside me for a while, know that, I'm usually in that 5 zone, right? 4, 5, or 6. All right, here we go. We're coming into that target now. See if we can get it. Let's see if we can get it. Came right up. We have the low volume notch at 49.75. VWAP is up at 74.81. That would be the ultimate target, right? 74.81. And I've got 30 on the first, 20 on the second, -3 on the third. Okay. So now I'm just thinking about this a little bit more. Now I'm just thinking about this more from an account building perspective. What can I do to pad my account? I know I'm already green, and if this is my ultimate target, let's just treat this as a 1 contract trade and hold both of them. Here's what I'll do. Put that in there. 80.75 is the volume weighted average. VWAP for today for the 24-hour session. That's my ultimate target. 32, 42, 7. So 72, looking for 72.50. And then a touch of VWAP at 80.75. I'm gonna hold both of them. And if it doesn't hit the ultimate target, right, the 72.50, I mean, that's, look, I've done pretty good today. I'm okay with holding it. I'm not going to lose anything on this trade. Let's just make sure of that. Right. So right now I'd lose about 2 points on 1 contract, which is an acceptable loss. And it's not. I don't want to frame it as a loss. What it is just the cost of doing business, right? So I'm really, ultimately I can go back and review my performance and say, hey, I was risking 2 points on this trade to get 40. I think I'm okay with that. I'd be able to live with myself. So that's the plan. Hold them both. See if we can get up to 72.50. And while we wait for that target to either print or not, let's just take a look at. Let me take a look at this chart. Let me flip this out. See how this makes sense. let me just also go over here and look at this. Okay, this is a 2-hour chart. We're going to bring this down to a 60. Is this at this 24-hour? Yeah. Okay. I want to get this on a 60-minute chart. Nope, this is still 2 hours. Let's just look at it on a 30. I have the 30 built already. Okay. Look below and fail. Friday's low. We had the liquidation break, but we are in the center of the higher time frame of the 15. We are in the center of the higher time frame balance, right? Right at the 50. So yeah, I mean, we're above the mid of the balance. The retest of the mid. Let me just walk through this. Right. So obviously, we're looking for lower prices ultimately, but lower high, lower high, lower high. Right. Conversely, higher low. Higher low, higher low. We came in, we tested Friday's low. Balance rules are in play, right? And now, although these ranges look wide, and yes, they are, this is a 400-point range, I can see a move that takes us, let's say, back here. $74.86. I can see that happening. Right, so yeah. All right, so now let's get back to the chart and clear this stuff off. Okay, it's working out nicely. We're still moving higher here. Still moving higher. Do I want to take a scalp exit? Gosh, I just said I was going to hold it, so let's see if I can stick to the plan for 15 minutes. All right, getting some follow through higher. Obviously, there's going to be an uncomfortable retracement here, right? I've kind of got to get ready for that. At a certain point, you know, in a hold like this, it's, you know, you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? So, am I going to be okay with this thing, you know, retracing 10 points on me when I'm 5 points away from my target, right? That's a good, valid question to ask. Okay, sorry, I missed these questions. How long, it says Manny, how long do you usually wait after a big candle before looking to get involved? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about, the big down, kind of waiting that out. So, you know, if that big candle print was on obviously it all depends too on where you are. So we had printed, I was really looking at this on a 15-minute off screen. So here, let me just show you on this chart. Or wait, instead, I'll do this. Let's see. Put the 15 up. Okay, so my anchor chart's a 15. I share a 5 because for the stream, because most people identify with a 5. So right here, we were in this candle. We were in this candle here, and on the 5, it looked differently. But so if I'm, you know, this was the level here, right? So we had, Friday's low was right here. I want to get in, obviously, as close to my exit as possible, but I'm also looking for acceptance, right? So what I am doing is I'm waiting at least for a 5-minute print, and then I don't want to buy it as, you know, if I'm in. So let me go back to the 5. Go back to the 5. So if I'm in on this, let's say I'm in on this, say that I got in mid candle and that candle looks like it's going to print green, but then ultimately it did print red. So I'm testing it. I'm probing it with one or two contracts, right? I'm probing it in this one. And then if it comes down again, then I want to try to add one here because I know I'm going to stop out. So say I'm in at 70, like this one, I'm in at 74.32. Right? If it came down, when it came back down, it came back down to 74.26. I want to try to add one in there because I know I'm stopping out at 22. But the risk was so wide there that I didn't add it. So my first entry, I don't want to ever enter as it's going down. I want to enter as it's going in the direction of my trade. And then if that happens to reverse mid candle, then I'll add one close to my exit because the risk on that contract is minimal. And I've had, you know, mixed results with that, you know, often, you know, getting in on adding one right next to your exit, you know, in the hopes that, hey, listen, the risk on this contract is 1 or 2 points versus me losing, you know, 6 or 7 on the first. I'm okay with that. Again, it's, you know, all account specific. It depends on your account size. For those of you guys, it'd be helpful if I knew for those of you guys trading evaluations, what size do you typically trade? Let's see. What was the other question? Manny, do you ever buy those big breakout candles? I think I just answered that. And then is there ever a situation where you'll jump in right after a large candle? Okay, so yeah, I think I covered that one too. So it's for, I'm not jumping in on just a candle. It's I have to have an area. If I have an area, then I'm deciding how I'm going to engage there. Yeah. Here's that uncomfortable pullback. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions about that. Still holding on here, trying to go for the big win. Looks like we're balancing now. So right now, what I want to see is I'm gonna have to tighten up. If this high, so what I'm expecting now is that okay. So we have this is where my focus is now. My focus is now on this candle high, 61.75. Okay, so I am not expecting this next candle here to break it. I'm not expecting that one to break it. However, what I have to expect and be ready for is that we're going to balance. So what I want to see here is more or less that this whole low holds, but that I'd like for it to stay up here and kind of, give me a print that I can, give me prints that encourage me, right? So let's say we have one down here, and then we have one up here, and then I want to see some follow through, but I want to see this candle print taken out. Not on this one, because I know that's a false that's not a good expectation. I don't think, sorry, let me just reiterate that. I don't think that the next candle, I don't think this one will break it. But if this one is lower, I want to see this one testing this high and closing up there. If not, I'm going to start, taking an exit. Let me know if that makes sense or if you have any questions about that. Coming to 11:15. After that 13-hour drive, man, I'm wasted. I can't believe, I'm so tired, and I'm really glad that that I've had a good result today, because that makes it all worth it. I think, I think it's you guys. I have to say, I think it's being with the pit again. Just brings back good vibes. You guys are now my new lucky rabbit's foot. Here we are testing the low of that foot. That's exactly what I don't want to see, right? We're doing that thing where we're wicking. Every time we go up, we wick and we come back down. So let's see what happens on this next print. What time is it? It's 11:15, so we should start forming a new candle now. Yep. Hang tight while I grab something to drink. All right, I'm back. Not what I wanted to come back to. Not what I wanted to see. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and lock in 10 points. I have to. I'd like to see that low hold. All right, 10 points on that one. It just rolled over. The selling is, hey, that I think that the writing's on the wall here, guys. I think we're heading lower. Let's see. Got to move this one to break even. Oh, look at that. I got stopped out and it reversed. That's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. It's all right. No harm, no foul. Come on, baby. Let's go. Give me that target. Oh, crap. It looks like I just lost connection. Let me see. Okay. Good. All right. Back at it. All right. Let these charts load. And we'll reassess the target here. Going to adjust this target here. I'm no longer expecting it to eclipse 61.75, and if it does, so be it, but that is not my expectation anymore. Let's see, 34.75, 39, with the 54, 54.50 for a 20-point gain. Nope. All right, I'm out. +5 on the last. +5 or 6. Not sure which one it was. I think it was 6. It probably drifted a little lower. It just doesn't make sense anymore to hold it. At one point, I had like 24 in that one. It just didn't hit the target. I thought we'd get a move up to VWAP, given that. So here's the thinking going into that, right? The reason why I was looking for that extended target was, one, because I had done so well in the morning, right? So this is just a bonus. This is like how I'm trying to turn a good day into a great day, right? Because I know that I can give some back and still feel comfortable about my gains on the day, right? So to think about it in a different way, it's kind of like playing with the house's money. All right. So at that point, I'm thinking, okay, so if I can, like, typically what we're going to see on a day like today, especially with this type of configuration, is that we're going to see a move up to retest VWAP and then roll over and possibly auction lower. So we came up to 61.75 and we wicked, and I pointed it out here that we wicked again. And I just, in hindsight, should I have taken it off? Of course not. In hindsight, I should have taken it off. This high was 61.75. In hindsight, I should have taken it off at 61.50, but we don't know that going in, right? And so I was willing to hold it to see if I can get up to VWAP, and then at that point, I was going to think about a move lower. The reason why I considered that kind of tilted my bias to say, yeah, we have a chance of making it up to VWAP was because the internals are still positive. The internals are still positive. They're still 1.7 to 1 positive on the NYSE, 1.1 to 1 positive on the NASDAQ. All of those were kind of consolidating and looking like they were going to auction higher. So with that being the case, I thought, okay, we reclaimed Friday's low. We had already reclaimed Friday's low. And there are a lot of shorts here. There are a lot of shorts that came in from here, from this point, right here, right from these areas, right in here. Tons of shorts coming in. That's a horrible arrow. So for me, the thinking was, hey, we had some shorts coming in here, right? They're going to go up there and look for that liquidity. We can also see the liquidity here, okay, which still might be on deck, right? So tons of shorts came in here. That's how we got lower. You can see the liquidity right here, right at VWAP. Now we understand that, markets move on liquidity, and I was thinking that, hey, this low volume notch will fill, and we will ultimately auction. And then up there, decisions will be made, right? There'll be enough pain on the late to the party shorts, and if the true intention is to roll over, we will roll over. Now we got the most bearish outcome. We couldn't even test that. We came up, we tested that prior low, and the market rolled over. These guys that are in short here are now they're sitting tight in their position. They're right. The market has validated their move, and we are auctioning lower. We came in, we put in a move lower, retrace right to the expectation, and then now we're getting the secondary move lower, right? So I thought that they were going to come up. As many of you know, I markets move on liquidity, guys. That's you want to be able to find good levels. Look at the market not in terms of support, like linear support resistance lines. Start looking for the money, right? Look for the liquidity. And so I thought we had a decent shot of going up there and sweeping this liquidity right here, this high volume node. I thought chances were pretty solid. Because all of this liquidity, if you see it here, all of this liquidity, again, so the thinking was that we would come up, test VWAP, sweep that liquidity, and when you're looking at it, all of that liquidity came in after the regular trading, after RTH, during the RTH session, because our overnight low was up here, was 70, let's see. The 74.86. So all of this volume came in after the regular trading hour session. My expectation was that they were going to go and sweep it. It didn't work out for me. It was worth the hold. I got 10 on the first, 5 on the second. No harm, no foul. The trade is a win. It just wasn't a grand. It was, solid double. It just wasn't a grand slam. If I would have gotten up there, what would I have made? 74.72, I think I was looking for, and I was from 32. I would think that would have been a 40-point trade. That would have been nice. Let me know if that makes sense. Kind of like the logic chain, and the understanding that like that. Obviously, what I want most importantly to drive home is that I'm not basing my decisions on one candle or a candle print, right? I want confluence of ideas. I want confluence of technicals. I want to have a confluence in what the context is telling us, right? I want to be in alignment with the context. And again, there's no perfect way of doing it. The entire objective is to simply end the day with a green account. If you do that and you find a way to do it and repeat that process, then you are ahead of a large amount of traders. The key is to have a process that you can repeat, though, right? Because then if not, then it just becomes like a game of luck. Of one good day, one good read is not going to be able to make you. Trading is not going to turn into a dependable income. I have zero interest in a trade that was lucky, that I pulled it off once. Like, I'm almost scared of those trades, to be honest with you. I'm scared of the trade that I take that works out, and that it happened to work out, and I got lucky and I got paid, and I shouldn't say I'm scared of that trade. I'm scared of feeling good about it, right? Because that for me would be a false. It would create a false expectation in that I could read my gut and trade off of that. What I'm more scared of that probably than of anything else. Not of the of a winning trade. Obviously, I'm not scared of that. What I'm scared of is feeling good about it and getting a false, false sense of confidence. A false sense of confidence from a trade that I can only execute once. How am I going to repeat that? All right, so now let's talk about the next trade, okay? So now we're rolling over. We pretty much have linear lines. So here, let's go to a tick chart. Let's see if we can find some type of, let me erase these. So if we can come back up and maybe test that, these lows here at 74.37 to 74.41. So 37 to 41. See how that looks on a time-based chart? 37.41. Yeah. Obviously, you can't sell them down here. Don't do that. But if we get a print, if our next print, if we come down and our next print tests lower, but comes up into this gap here, 74.40, 37 to 41, maybe try some, right? And put your stop somewhere above this. You know, you can 37.41, and then you can risk, you know, keep it tight. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but that's what I'm going to be looking at. I will look at 37 to 41, and then I really, you know, if it gets up to 52, I'm wrong. But that's 10 points. I don't want to do that. And then but if we got back above that 43, I would think that then what's going to happen next is that we're probably going to, if we got above here, so let's say we print here, right? And it goes like this, then we could even go all the way up here. But what I want to see is a lower high relative to the prior. I want to see lower high hold. So really what I want to see is a follow through candle. Yeah, what I want to see is that, and then I want to get this here. Not this. I'll trade that right now. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There's a lot of look below and fail, you know, longs here from the 35, 31s, and those guys, if we break here, guys, remember what this is, but remember what this level represents on the higher time frame. Let's just take a quick look at that. Okay. Again, we don't really have a strong directional bias here because we're in this larger, higher time frame balance. But look, if we get below Friday's low, guys, expectations go down 73.58. That's 100. That's close to, you know, 75 points. Jeez. All right, I need to look for an entrance. I need an entry here. I need an entry. Gosh, I hope I get one. What time is it? I'll get one. We'll get one. We will get one, guys. We will get one. You know, another one that works here is those momentum scalps, man. If we break below this low, nope, scratch. Sometimes you can scalp those little momentum scalps. How many of you guys trade those like momentum scalps? mean, sometimes those trades are just so simple, so easy. All right, so let's see. I have some resistance at 74.29, 74.39. So that's what I'm waiting for. Hopefully we can get down there and get it. Look at that. Got them chased. Got the chasers, liquidate them, and then now they're going to rally this higher. Bleed them out, and then they'll move lower. Take a quick look at something here. What was that support? Hang on. There's a support down here. And it matters. Let me see. Where can I find that? There we go. Nope. Where is that support? What was that date? It was the 24th, right? Friday was the 24th. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see. What are we trading? 74.21. $74.20. Gosh, that is it. 74.19 to 74.23. Ugh. $74.37. What is this? I got an ATA short here. 74.29 quarter. 74.29 quarter. Oh, nope, not that one. I already have one on. Let's go. Why do I care if the liquidity came from the overnight or the regular session? I'm just getting to these questions now. Because Manny, why do you care whether the liquidity came from overnight or the regular session? Yeah, so that's a pretty good one. Because typically, so there's lower volume in the overnight session, and those are typically weaker hands. The bigger operators tend to operate during the regular trading hour session. That's all. See if we get the roll over here. I'm trying to scalp it again. Feels like over trading, to be honest. I'm gonna go get some breakfast after this. Can a liquidity sweep lead to continuation, or are you expecting a reversal? Can a liquidity sweep lead to continuation, or are you expecting a reversal? That's a tough one to answer. So it depends really on, can a liquidity sweep lead to continuation, or are you always expecting a reversal? No. So the liquidity sweep is the target. And if you remember what I was talking about, I said that I was looking for a move that would get me that liquidity for my exit, not for and then I would reassess if there was going to be a move down. Hope that makes sense. Oh, this is that trade I shouldn't have been in. Tend to see like it tends to this is the ATA short here. We're looking for a short 29.50, looking for 24.50 and 19.50 on the short trade in alignment. So news out, Cybertruck called the biggest flop in automotive history as Tesla shares plummet. Yeah, that's brutal. You know, I always thought that Tesla truck. I mean, does anybody here have a Cybertruck? There's one thing that was undeniable. That marketing campaign was great. It had most people thinking that the entire world was buying a Cybertruck. Yeah, Adrian. You know, I remember talking. So one of my neighbors got the Cybertruck, and and so was that a Plymouth, or was that a Ford or something? I remember jokes about it. But anyway, back to Cybertruck. I remember one of my neighbors got it. It was and you know, at the time we were talking about, I was like, oh, the kids kids were like, thought it was cool or whatever, and I said that, I remember talking to my wife about it because we're on our third Tesla, and I remember talking to my wife about it, and I told her, yeah, Ford, okay, good. I remember telling my wife, I think that thing is either going to sell and it's going to do great, or it's going to flop. And when it's, and I wasn't sure of my opinion of it yet, but I didn't like it for a truck. And then the more I saw it, the more, yeah. So that was it. So we were at a park, and there was like a there was like a soft sand embankment, and there was a Tesla truck that was stuck there, and he couldn't get out. And then some other guy with like an F-150 came and pulled him out, and that guy was so embarrassed. He was so embarrassed, and I remember telling my wife, like, that thing. Yeah. I remember telling my wife, I said, that thing sucks if it couldn't get out of that embankment. I was like, that's gonna flop. But at the time, they were saying, like, all the news reports saying, oh, the sales are through the roof, and I didn't get it. I just did not get it. So, and then also, going into it was like, I think that there was a bit of hubris tied to Tesla in that they can do no wrong, right? You were kind of like on the cutting edge and so on and so forth. And I didn't, I didn't like it as a truck. And then slowly but surely, like as they started to age a little bit, they just looked worse and worse and worse. And, they started to look like a Lego on wheels, and it just was bad. I don't think it could ever recover. And, I told him, I was chatting with my friend about, like, it was confusing at the time, but that, now you see the lot's full with them. And after the older they get, though, I feel the worse they look. It's just, they at the time, the marketing campaign was phenomenal, though, I'll tell you that much. Like I said, they had everyone thinking that the Teslas were flying off the shelf. And then, recently I saw pictures of lots just full of them. I heard they're using them at SpaceX. I read that they were using them at SpaceX as cars to get around. So, all right, team, listen, that's going to wrap it up for me. I ran over a little bit on time, a little bit tired. I'm going to go take a nap, but I wanted to see if this trade completed. But we're coming into noon o'clock, and I feel like we're starting to chop around. We're starting to balance. I want to get out of here, go get some breakfast. I haven't eaten anything, pretty tired. But I hope you guys got something out of this today. Hopefully, we brought some value to your trading. Bo will be on tomorrow. I'll be in the pit. I am going to be also streaming. So I'll give you a heads up tomorrow about that. I'll post it in the room. Hopefully you guys got something out of this, and we will see you all tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. Have a good one. Oh yeah, I'm writing a new article for Substack. You should look out for it. It's coming out later today. I had an opportunity to write over the weekend, being in the hotel, and kids went out with my wife, and I was able to put down some thoughts. I think it'll take you on a little ride through the history of trading. I think it's going to be fun to. I think it'll be a fun read. Just check it out. Substack at Manny Trends. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Yeah, thanks, Delphine. Thanks, Adrian. Take care. Take care, guys. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to peel this one off too. We're just balancing down here. Pretty good day though today. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one. Again, look out for that Substack article. I think you're gonna like it. It's called "The Club Was Never Meant for Us." All right, take care, y'all.